It's a beautiful, cool, crisp morning at the end of September. Join me and let's go on a garden tour to see what's thriving, what needs to be divided, moved, and planted. Welcome to Joy in the Garden. This backyard garden here is part sun, and it's looking really fabulous at the end of September. In fact, it's looking better now at the end of September than it did at the beginning of September. That's because our temperatures have finally cooled off. Probably in the past 4 or 5 days, we've finally hit the point where you kind of have those mornings that are just, and afternoons that are feeling like crisp and cool. And the first thing I would start with here is this container. This container is looking the best it has all season. I love this container. So this has the Surefire Rose Begonia right in there. This is a coleus here. This is the road trip variety. It looks like it's planted in the ground, but it is actually coming out of the container. This salvia here, it's the first time I planted this, and I will definitely repeat it. This is the orange skyscraper. And then we have this magnificent Kufia. Isn't that pretty? This is Hummingway's Lunch. Just a really, really pretty. The coloring is so beautiful, like pink and some corally and I don't know, kind of some yellow tints in there. Just really pretty. And then there's the Bewitched sweet potato vine that's in there, kind of roaming around there. So this has been definitely one of my best containers I've ever done in this space. I'll try to repeat it somewhat close next year. So I have a container on both sides of this circle here. This side here is part sun and gets afternoon sun. The container across the way is definitely in more what I call dappled sun, definitely has more shade. So I've been trying to find plants that will work both in sun and shade. So I've been trying that for a couple years, and this year is probably the one I've been the most successful with. So on this side, which is more shade, it gets some dappled sun. It has the same plants. Now, if you look at that road trip coleus, it actually looks completely different. It has a lot more of that bright pink in the shade. I'm surprised the salvia's done pretty darn good here. Same with the Surefire begonia rose. Now, I did have in both of the plants this beautiful hulu pink begonia. It looks gorgeous on this side. It has been eaten up in the full sun one, which is fine. It's fine, but I do love it. Look at how dainty that is. I think I have to figure out where else to plant that next year as well. I did find you can grow that from seed. I'm not sure how successful I would be doing that, but and then the bubble hydrangeas, they look about the same as they did in September. They haven't changed color too much. Some years they change a little bit of color, some they don't. They definitely have more yellow leaves. I mean, we had a lot more stress from not having rain in September. So there's some beautiful crispy leaves there. And across the way is the Firelight Hydrangea, another highlight at the end of September. I would say it is just a deeper color right now at the end of September than it was at the beginning of September. Now, personally, I think the Firelight Hydrangea does not get the love that it deserves. I think it's just absolutely beautiful. You know, between the beginning of September and now, those blooms have just gotten deeper and darker. And over here, you can really see there's some that have browned because we had a lot of heat without rain, but it's not that crispy brown. I'd take that brown. I think it kind of fits in nicely with this entire area. This Pinky Winky is also changing a little bit more. Really little blooms yet. This is only its second year. And if I pull away a little further here, I have actually cut quite a few of the blooms off of the wee white hydrangeas, which I have about 7 of them there, but you can see the new white blooms there. This thing will keep reblooming, but this year the blooms that were there all summer just got really crispy, so I ended up cutting them off. And then the Midnight Sun Weigela right here that's under this incredible just continues to get deeper and deeper tones. Beautiful. One of my absolute favorite shrubs. It only gets 1.5 by 1.5. Now that incredible, definitely look at the little crispiness on there, but I don't know, all that coloring just kind of fits in with everything else. And somehow when things get that brown tone and it's cool and crisp outside, it feels much better than when it's hot outside and you see those blooms getting crispy, right? And then over here against the house, this little lime hydrangea here. Its coloring is just gorgeous, just beautiful. I absolutely love it. This is my place where I sit, or my husband and I sit, and I just really enjoy that, this little lime hydrangea so much. And part of it is because it's been here 15 years and I didn't know what I was doing when I planted it. So it kind of, I don't know, it's kind of special to me, but I absolutely love the coloring. I wish the bobos may turn more. Last year they turned more a little like what the little lime is doing, but this year, I don't know, not so much. So we'll see. Hydrangeas behave differently depending on the year, is my experience. Something that I added this year that really, really just continues to perform, and they continue to get bigger, are these caladiums. This is the White Queen variety, and it's honestly, so I think part of the reason I love them this time of the year is because they really, I don't know, they start coming up in the ground, in June, but kind of slow, and then they slowly unfurl, and then they're looking really pretty in July and August, and they just get bigger and bigger. The leaves, in my opinion, get bigger. So really pretty collage of items right there. So in the little path here, nothing's really changed too much, except I have quite a few plants that I am going to be adding in this new entrance area right here. So I added this garden space that is really in front of and creating more of an entrance to the backyard garden. I created this in spring. I planted a few things last fall directly in the grass, and then I created this through cardboard, compost, mulch. So this, I'm going to be working on this space quite a bit. I have a sting arborvitae from Proven Winters, which I'm very excited about. It's like 1.5 feet wide, 10 to 15 feet tall. And then I actually found, I actually have 3 of those, so I'm very excited about that. This flower fill, I found this yesterday. Flower full. I can't say flower fill, it's flower full. Hydrangea from First Editions. This is a smooth hydrangea, so I'm very excited to try that as well. This is a sublime that is a beautiful, beautiful beast that's going to look fabulous. That's from Proven Winters as well. This is a sublime I planted last year in the ground. So those are great. I guess the strength and the structure of the sublime hydrangea to me is beautiful. And a couple grasses, October sky, Cheyenne sky, and then yesterday I found Invincible Spirit too. So I will be planting in this space over the next couple weeks now that it's cooled off. And unfortunately, I don't think I had a tour when the sweet autumn clematis were blooming. They bloom usually about 3 weeks. This year, I think it was more like 2 weeks. It was hot. Maybe that made them bloom a little shorter, not sure. And on the screen, I'll put up just kind of a visual, kind of a vision of what I'm hoping this entrance garden looks like when I am done with it. It won't turn out exactly like that, but I like putting those things together to give a feel whether I like the colors and everything kind of working together. And then over here, you can see the spent sweet autumn clematis. The flowers are actually already spent. But the reason I'm pointing these out is I will come through and cut all of this off because these are little seeds, and I don't want those seeds scattering around the garden and creating new little sweet autumn clematis popping up everywhere. And then in this space right here, we do have some really nice sedum. This is the Class Act sedum here. I love that color. I don't think it's getting enough sun here, so I may move it because it's so pretty, and I'd love to have it in other spots. Here's another Midnight Sun Weigela, looking really pretty, pretty, pretty. So, and then over here, there's really not too much that has changed in this part shade space over here. It's mostly foliage, which I absolutely love. And then here is my favorite view of the garden, especially through, I can see the tall blue planet ageratums all the way through to the new garden back there. I love that. I'm gonna have to plant those ageratums there every year. So let's head on through here and we will go over to where those blue ageratums are showing off. Now in this garden, you can see quite a few new plants in their containers that I have not planted yet. This garden is filled with things that I'm going to change, things that I'm going to move. This is only its, well, first full year for the entire new garden bed. Parts of it were in place last year. So lots to change here. Now I'm going to pull back from this garden bed because I want you to see the pop of color and shape that these Lemon Perfection catmint provide. Aren't they just beautiful? That's the 3 mounds that are right there in the front. I have not touched them. I didn't cut them back. I didn't do anything. I just had a little plant and I put them in there. So we'll see how they do next year because that's their first full year. I do have 3 more of those plants in other parts of this garden bed that I'm going to pull out and put more in the front. So that's something I really want to, I will be making some changes to, just having some more shorter plants up front. So a few other things I've been adding or will add. This is the new Rebecca Treasure Trove. That's going to be in garden centers next year. Very disease resistant. Get excited about that one. And then I found some more of the ultraviolet luminary phlox. So that coloring is similar to the coloring on the buddy. So on the buddy gomphrena. So I love that color in here. And then I also have the sunset, is it sunset coral? Yeah, sunset coral luminary phlox. So I'm going to actually mix some of those phloxes together here with some, kind of bringing some bright colors to this space here. I tell you what, that rainbow sherbet celosia back there, it just keeps growing and growing and growing. Absolutely love it. That will be a repeat next year. Other highlights would be the zinnia. This is the Baneri lilac variety here. The Blue Fortune agastache is worn out, but pollinators still love her, so I'll keep her there. Now I did have here the firelight tidbits in front. They were so pretty. And then they got all crispy brown. So I did cut the crispy brown out because I wanted to be able to, see beyond it when I was planning what I would add and put in other places. I will also be adding a trellis, and then I'm going to be adding the Kinsley Ghost Honeysuckle. So I have it sitting back here because this is where I'm going to add it. I am actually going to move the David Austin Olivia Rose, because I actually think that a beautiful, I think it's going to be a 7-foot trellis with that Kinsley Ghost will just look perfect. And you can see kind of in the back there, along with that false cypress, I have another sting arborvitae. And I think those, I'm thinking, like the combination of the false cypress, the sting arborvitae, and then this 7-foot here will just kind of create some nice architectural movement for this entire garden here. So lots of work to do here, and I'm very much looking forward to it this fall. And before I leave this space, I should remind you, I have 6 Pinky Winky hydrangeas. You can barely see them because of all of the other different things going on in here, but they will get 8 by 8 feet. So there's one right there. There's one behind the agastache that you can't even see. There's one in between the celosia and the zinnias. There's one sticking back there. So then, and then there's 3 that are just in the back. So in time, this garden bed will get much taller and full. And hiding back here, there's some beautiful celosia. But also look at that beautiful, this is autumn fire. Look how pretty that is. You can't even see it from the front. Oh my gosh. So I am going to be moving this to the front of the garden. It's a huge patch. I divided some last year and wasn't sure where to put them. So I always put stuff that I don't know exactly what to do with in the back of this garden. And it's a place to go shopping for plants, right? And then over across the way, we have the royal purple smoke bush. I pruned this in late July, so this is all a lot of new growth. There's actually some blooms, which surprised me, but I'll take them. I had a few last year too in the fall. So around the corner here is actually one of my favorite spots. It's just this little area here. It's one of my favorite spots because it was the first spot where I really dealt with clay. And I worked really hard to add compost every fall, every spring, and it finally has some real lush soil and lush plants. Now this Bobo, you can see there definitely is some beautiful pinkish tones in comparison to the other Bobos, which I think actually probably are a little drier than this space here. One thing that happens when you add a lot of compost, you get some nice rich soil. So there's some wonderful different varieties of coleus back there. I bought these little 4-packs of the polka dot plants, and they are just all over here. You cannot even tell. There is in there is a container. So I have some caladiums here, just looking beautiful. There's actually a hosta hidden back there somewhere. Oh, there it is, still alive. So just a whole lot happening here. I love the little kind of mosaic collage that happens when you combine a bunch of different coleus, and now the pink polka dots, or I shouldn't say pink polka dots, just polka dot plant. I had some white, darker pink, lighter pink. Just, I love this space. And in this front yard space, which is full sun, this really relies, most of the interest is with structure and textures this time of the year. I do keep the Millennium alliums once they're spent. I do keep them up just for the structure of them. Now across the way here is just a little corner spot by the garage, which is common. A lot of people have this in their landscape. I was never happy with what I had in this space here. This is the first year I feel really, really happy with this space. So this is a golden spirit smoke bush. It's a standard tree, and that means I bought it this way. It was grafted that way. Beautiful, beautiful tree. And below, I actually removed a lot of things, and this is a dwarf Norway spruce. It will get about 3 feet wide, maybe a little bit bigger. So that'll be beautiful under there. And then I really just added a lot of annuals. But what looks beautiful right now, there's autumn fire sedum, and this is Mr. Goodman. Both beautiful sedum varieties. I love them together with the dark purple sweet potato vine there. I couldn't have really imagined that, but it looks really, really pretty. The nice coral sedum that kind of brings out that color, and the smoke bush as well. So loving these 2 sedums together. Well, actually these 3 sedums, but coral sedum is annual for me. But how pretty is that? And this front yard full sun garden, it's still looking pretty good. I have removed quite a few of the annuals, just high heat, and they were just really tired. But the sweet potato vine here, Sweet Caroline, is still looking fabulous. No surprise there. The Cleome, Senorita Rosalita, still looking fabulous, especially right above the Concord barberries here. The colors are just beautiful together. And this is the Limelight Hydrangea. This is a standard tree form, and it does have brown, quite a bit of brown on it. That's what happens. Every year it gets brown. This does not turn for me. I've never had it turn. It's just there's too much sun. This is from sun in the morning till sun at the end of the day. So I don't think that will ever, turn, get any kind of rosy colors or anything. But, I think that brown is okay for now. Maybe in a month or so. I always remove the blooms for my hydrangeas before winter because I have had the experience of it. breaking branches when heavy snow and ice come in our winters. Now, I'll tell you, one thing that is really looking fabulous are these beauties right there. They have been looking great all season. There are 7 containers here. Now, this is by far, I think, the prettiest grouping of containers I've ever done on this front porch. This is part sun. Over to the right here, we have the Surefire Rose Begonia, the white Candidum Caladium, planted from bulbs from Longfield Gardens. This is a heart-to-heart Caladium. I bought that as a plant. That's Proven Winners. One of the most beautiful cascading begonias I've ever seen. Just absolutely gorgeous. Another one of the white Candidums and the Florida leaf strap Caladium. That's also planted from a bulb from Longfield Gardens. I have the Angelonia here. This is the Wedgwood. And the winged begonia, which I've always loved the winged begonias, but I tell you, the Surefire Rose just produces a lot more flowers. More of that heart to heart. Some white impatience. Another one of the winged begonias there. And then there's a beautiful guacamole that I will move to the garden in about a month. Just a beautiful, beautiful space. And even though I wouldn't say this has been a successful strawberry year for me, these are ever-bearing strawberries and they produce like crazy in the fall. Gotta love that. And of course, the Gomphrena. I started these from seed. This is the atomic purple variety next to the buddy, which is a shorter variety. This is one plant. And then there is one plant over here of the atomic purple, and down below the buddy. The Gomphrena loves this time of the year. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you all have a magnificent day.